Welcome to High Peaks Home and the journey of this abandoned house, where I'm going to use this series to inform you, the homeowner or potential homeowner, of all the ins and outs of your home. And let me tell you, this old girl, she needs a ton of love, and we're going through it piece by piece. In episode 25, we're going to talk about this little half wall behind me, a little bit of electrical, a bunch of other interior framing, and the spray foam is almost done. Almost. So close. And we'll get into why. All right, let's do this. Sit. All right, so we're going to have our morning meeting today, okay? Now today, we're going to start with framing. All right? We're going to frame out this wall right behind you, right over here. Yep, right there. And I checked it yesterday with a laser. So what I want you to do is, when you cut all your studs, we've got a little bit of a sag in the ceiling. And so to overcome that, are you looking at the ceiling? Have you got to look up? Yeah. So look at the ceiling. Yeah. And you got a little bit of sag up there, right? So what I want you to do is cut every stud. You're going to have to cut each one individually. You can't just batch cut these because of the sag that's naturally in the ceiling. Okay? Cut each one an 1/8 inch longer. Okay? That way we can overcome a little bit of the sag, and we put the weight on the studs and get it off the ceiling, so it's not just suspended like it is now. Oh, you think that's boring? Really? Ugh. Done it too many times, have you already? Well then, let's get to work. Well, hello, Teffy. How are you? Huh? Well, the actual entranceway is starting to get framed. I have this wall done. We have our little header scenario. It's all framed out. It was a bit of a challenge, only because the ceiling, does one of those numbers, as old houses do. Now I'm leaving this wall out here because we're still doing the whole staining operation over there for all the exterior staining. And I want to make sure I can get it in and out of the building. So for now, we just got this wall up, and she's all set. You ever run into a house and lean up against this little wall? It's on the forefront of the staircase, and the whole thing moves just a little bit. It's a little unnerving, right? Well, I'm here to tell you, it shouldn't ever move. And I invite you to try to move a wall that's in your house or in a friend's house. Well, if it's a friend's house, be careful. Don't break their sheetrock. But most people just walk by them and they don't ever think about it. As a home inspector and as a builder, I always check these walls. Because if you're going to sell a house or you're looking to buy a house, lean up against it and it shouldn't move. Anyway, I'll put out another video that has the whole how-to process. But for this video, we're just going to talk about the fact that it should be strong and some other attributes to it. Now, I designed this one to be about 39 inches tall. Now, that's just in the framing. Now, code is only 36 inches total above finished floor. But I wanted it to be a little bit taller because I feel, or what I would do if this were my home, is I would put a sectional couch in here. And I have no idea what the future homeowner is going to do. But that's what I would do. And as couches get taller and poofier, you want the wall to be taller than your couch, right? So if you set a plant on here or some photos or, whatever, your afternoon cocktail, whatever your fancy is, you don't want the couch to, hit it or whatever as you're reclining. So I built it that way for that reason. And let me show you another little thing that I did, is that this wall does not go all the way to the end of the staircase. I did that so that, when you bring furniture into a house, speaking of the sectional, right? You're going to bring that sectional up through the staircase, and you're going to come around this corner. If this staircase or this wall was to the end of the staircase, that's another 11.5 inches. And that makes this whole area that much tighter. Now I have the landing pretty good sized, But every inch counts when you're bringing that big furniture up through here, right? The only difficult thing about what I did is that it's going to make doing the nosing on the floor just a hair bit harder than it would have been otherwise. So it's something to think about when you're doing your own renovations. You know, think about the flow of getting furniture in and out, appliances, and even just yourself. You know, I like it to have the opening as big as possible, as soon as possible. And so that's what I did here. Well, I don't think I can talk about this anymore. Let's go on to the next task. Back bedroom finally received her closet. Now we delayed on building this closet just so I can get the spray foam in, and I didn't want to block any access to the exterior wall for him to spray. And you can see how when I did that big push to get everything done before spray foam, that I put this nailer in, well, now you can see the intersecting of how that nailer works. So that's all finished. And you can see above me here, you know, up here, there's no header because this is not a load-bearing wall. It's just a closet. And all the load is sent to the outside or forward. So no header needed, so this one's all set. All right, so I'm in that cavity next to the staircase. Then you have a wall, and that little knee wall that we were talking about earlier is right above us. And in this cavity here, I didn't know exactly what to do with it. The only thing I can come up with is that it's going to be different storage ideas, right? And it doesn't matter to me what the future homeowner is going to use it for, but I thought it'd be awful nice if they had some lighting. Boom. Lighting it is. Right before spray foam, I had to run a bunch of wires, and they were all just kind of dangling here, all labeled up. Well, I tidied it all up and made it nice and functional. So, the way I like to run my panels is I like to have things grouped together that make sense. So as you walk around the house, the breakers are in order as you walk around the house. You can start with the front bedroom, go to the back bedroom, to the laundry room, to the master, to the living space, the kitchen, and all of them are in a row. Now I keep my upstairs on one side and my downstairs on the other. Pretty simple, right? I think so. Well, there you go. The electrical has been tidied up to this point. So as you can see, between me and you are these two big slabs. They're 2.5 inches thick. They're Eastern white pine, and they are not going into Frankie. A neighbor of mine reached out and said, "Hey, Sean, would you mind joining these together for me? I just don't have the tooling to do it." I was happy to help out. He's a great guy. Yeah, so, you know, the whole helping community thing. Here I am, doing it again. But if you have any interest of knowing how I'm going to join these things together, put a comment down below and maybe I'll do a video on it. Let's talk about spray foam. You know, watching the guys do the spray foam, it was awesome. It really was. Just an absolute well-oiled machine. You've got the main guy doing all the spraying, and you got the other guy doing all the prep and cleanup. And man, it just went so fast.
What we learned initially, you can either make this look good or make this look good, right? And I tend to spray like this so that we don't have to scrape as much.
Perfect.
But if I stood way back,
He's giving you more work.
doesn't that look pretty? And some of this doesn't look pretty.
At least a week. From the other contractor that I was using, I was expecting at least a week. And this guy came in In 2 days, he had all of the upstairs sprayed, and down here in this space here, it's been sprayed. Now, the foundation stone wall, it wasn't available because it was wet. And something you need to know when it comes to spray foam is that the surface has to be dry and it has to be a certain temperature. Now check with your spray foamer to see what that is. Now, if they say they can spray over anything wet, dry, they're wrong. You might want to find out what chemical they're using and see what the manufacturer says. Because I'm telling you, this guy, he wasn't willing to do it. Not even the slightest. And so what happens is, especially early spring, you get that dense, wet air that's coming in because it's always raining, and it will condensate, it gets that really cold foundation because we just came out of winter. And so the stone wall is wet. So I've been running fans non-stop to dry it up, and it's drying up beautifully. I'll be able to give him a call here pretty soon to get the rest of that sprayed. I think Wayne did an amazing job. I'm super happy with it, and I look forward to working with him in the future. And it's going to be just that simple. I'm not going to bother getting quotes anymore for him. I'm just going to call him up and say, hey Wayne, I got a house ready, come and do it. And it's going to work out beautifully. I'm really happy to build that relationship. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it down below. And if you haven't seen the rest of this journey of this abandoned house, go ahead and check this video out. Or if you want to see where I've been for the last, 6 weeks now, go check this video out. All right, everyone. Hope you're doing well, and I'll catch you up next time. Let's go outside. You want to go outside? Outside? You want to go for a walk? Let's go for a walk. Come on. All this chewing means you want to walk.